Hello, it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and I have been so inspired by people sharing their personal insights and experiences into mental health problems that I wanted to share some with you, both personally as somebody who's experienced post-traumatic stress disorder at the loss of a child, but also professionally as a mental health first aider. And today I'd like to share a reflection about children and young people on the autism spectrum and mental health. One of my greatest fear as a parent of autistic children was the fact that they would be more likely to suffer from anxiety disorders, obsessive compulsive disorders, and even though I did watch for why and write it down and talk it through with other people when I was concerned about an issue, it still didn't mean that I was able to prevent all mental health problems from occurring. One of my children suffered from obsessive compulsive disorder as they made the transition from key stage 1 to key stage 2, the catalyst being lunchtime changes, and they were under CAMS for a couple of years. And another child experienced extreme anxiety at secondary school in year 7, struggling from bullying and the perception of those negative feelings around bullying, which caused them to become a school refuser. And so it isn't always possible to stop mental health problems from occurring, but what we can do is try our best to support them. We need to listen and not judge. And when we listen to children and young people on the autism spectrum, that might not be through talking. It might be connecting through their interests and being alongside them. It might be connecting through art or music or drama, whatever is the best way for them to understand their emotions. Because children and young people on the autism spectrum may not feel their emotions in the same way. It doesn't mean that they're not feeling them, but it might be that they are confused about the words that mean those different emotions. Thinking about happy and sad, excited and frightened, those emotions can actually be quite closely connected. And there's a lot of research and study around interoception, your internal sensory processing, and emotions that are linking now that some people can find it very confusing to express their emotions because they're not able to physically experience it in the same way. So what can we do? Well, we might want to talk about what our feelings are physically. So putting a physical feeling against those words of emotions. We might want to have just a blank picture of the child. It could be a photograph if they can't imagine it. It could be getting your younger child to lie down and drawing around them so that they can imagine it being themselves. Or it may be physically touching where they are, their heart, their tummy, their head and their ears, so that they are able to then imagine those feelings. I use something that is quite simple that can take your heart rate. So getting children to do some exercises and get their heartbeat running quite quickly is able to then talk about, oh, this is what we feel like when we're frightened. But it's also, our heart goes faster when we're excited as well. And when we're calm and relaxed, our heart rate gets much slower. And you might want to do things like yoga as well to try and imagine and calm yourself, or using sensory processing strategies to support them. So just trying to think about using interests, explaining and exploring emotions can be really helpful. This week's Mental Health Awareness Week has been about kindness, and we need to think about not only how we can be kind, but how we can help others to be kind. There is still, sadly, a lot of ignorance about autism and a lot of unkindness about autism, particularly on social media. And we need to make sure that we continue to be aware of that so that we are able to support our children. If you do need to reach out, please do contact me. I'm happy to help in whatever way I can. Thank you.